All right. Hey, welcome back. We're going to talk about something that's really interesting that most people don't even understand the difference about, but we're going to welcome Chris, the claims manager. Chris, welcome home.
Hello, how you doing, everyone?
We're doing good, buddy. How are you?
Doing great, doing great.
Good. It's good
Yeah.
to hear, my friend. What are we talking about today?
Well, we're going to talk about basically what to expect if you decide to invoke appraisal in your appraisal clause, and what to expect when you hire an appraiser. Because I feel like there's some miscommunication, or basically, people just want to understand, there is a difference between a public adjuster and there's a difference between an appraiser. And there's
Yeah.
certain things you can say to a public adjuster, and there's certain things you can or cannot say to an appraiser. So, I want to just kind of set those expectations basically for everyone.
Yeah,
So,
really, the simplest terms are as a public adjuster, we're your advocate. We
mhm.
advocate for you and your side related to the claim. As an insurance appraiser, we advocate for the claim. We are unbiased. We're not beholden to either side. We're beholden to what is right within the claim.
Mhm.
The appraisal process is usually a lot less adversarial because people are trying to work on getting something resolved in the claim instead of egos or whatever might be driving the public adjuster side. But there's a big difference. Chris, do you know what that is?
The big difference as far as the appraisal and public adjuster side?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, the biggest difference is that you know, public adjusters can speak policy, they can speak to your adjuster. It's not the case. Appraiser, you're dealing just with the insured and can't speak policy.
right.
Basically, appraiser's background is typically like a general contractor, public adjuster, someone who knows kind of how it should work and look out.
Yeah.
And so basically, when you bring on an appraiser, the insurance company is going to hire their own appraiser. And so you're going to have two unbiased people come to the property, try to come with some kind of conclusion, basically. So,
Right. Yeah, the resolution they should come up with what is fair based on
mhm.
certain things, right? And so now a lot of appraisers will send out what's called a DOA, which is a directive of appraisal, which might be their own creation or sent to them by the insurance company, whatever it might be, but it says specifically, hey, these are the directives that we must follow in this appraisal. And they could be
Mhm.
different for each appraisal. It just depends on why it's in there. And sometimes it's ridiculous. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. Then why the hell are we even here? So
Mhm.
I would make sure you, as the insured, before you hire an appraiser, you vet them and make sure with their CV slash resume that
Mhm.
you look and make sure that they have the credentials to be appraising the property. I've appraised small claims, $4,000 claims. I've appraised large claims, multiple million dollars of claims, and everything in between. And so you want to make sure the person that you hire as your
Mhm.
insurance appraiser meets the requirements set forth by the state that you're in. In Colorado, there's like four different things. Like, you can't be an employee, you can't have a personal relationship with the person. So there are some things to show that, hey, I'm unbiased. I don't work for this person. I don't even know who they are. They hired me to be their appraiser. Great. And the big thing that Chris hit on was in the appraisal process, you can't talk policy. You talk
Mhm.
price, scope of work, and method of repair, and then
Mhm.
you go down that road. But you can't talk about, oh, hey, policy, coverage, this should be open, this shouldn't be. None of that happens. So you're really just
Right.
working on behalf of appraising the value of the claim. And like Chris was getting to, the process is interesting. It's different because it's the Wild West. You
Mhm.
might not hear from your opposing appraiser for months. We've been in situations, I've personally been in situations where I'm calling the appraiser every other day, every week, like, dude, what's going on? Where are you at? Oh, hey man, sorry. I got called to the hurricane in Florida. I won't be back for 2 months. Okay,
Mhm.
well, maybe you could tell somebody. And 2 months? Are you freaking kidding me? I've had that happen.
Mhm.
And in the appraisal process, that's a go, unfortunately. There's no real definition on what has to be done by when versus the public adjuster side, which is it has to be reasonable amount of time. What's reasonable? It depends, I think, on the request. It depends on the situation. It depends on the type of loss. It depends on deadlines. There's so many other things that go into it. So you want to make sure you have a really good public insurance adjuster, a really good insurance appraiser, a really good contractor. All of those things put together make an
Mhm.
amazing team, especially when you have an insured that's educated and well informed regarding the process and how it works. And guess what? That's what we're here trying to do for you. Chris,
Mhm.
I'll let you have the final word here, my friend.
Yeah, and the final words too, just so you know, I mean, you got to be careful about how you speak to your appraiser. Again, you hired that appraiser, but at the same time, there is a line, that you can't cross when it comes to communication. As far as, hey, are we going to get to this number? How are we doing with this? It's got to be unbiased, and so you just got to
Right.
realize that too, because sometimes we see things come in and it's like, hey, again, we're your unbiased appraiser. Unfortunately, we can't answer that. But communication is still key. Like, hey, here's where our inspection is. Here's where we're meeting next with the opposing appraiser. Here's
Yeah.
the kind of the timeline. And so, just so you know, there is a line. And so, again, I'm going to stress the word being unbiased. And so, you got to be careful too how you communicate with your appraiser and what you're asking for from that appraiser. So.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. So we are trying to reach 1 million people that view our videos because we want to make sure that you are well informed, that you understand the
Mhm.
process, that you're not going to get screwed over when the insurance company puts you to a task that you may or may not be ready for. And if you watch all of our videos, we give away all of our secrets because we want you to be informed.
Mhm.
So do us a favor, please subscribe to our
Mhm.
channel, like this video, and share it with the world. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.